So, as the year is coming to a close, it's the holiday season, you probably feel pressure, okay? But I want you to let you know that pressure that you feel isn't motivation, it's actually marketing. Okay? When it comes to the end of the year spike in terms of resolutions, I got to do all these things. A lot of times we're a little scared. We're a little stressed. It's like I have to finish all these things before the clock strikes 12. It's like everybody's Cinderella, right? I got to do all these things before the clock strikes 12, else I failed another year. There's one thing I see online, which is big, is like cleaning out your contact list, or going through your social media, removing people that you haven't talked to all year, or doing an audit of your relationships as the year ends. And it's like, you can be doing that now. You don't have to wait till the end of the year, right? Because it's just a change in the calendar. What are the patterns that are still present in the relationships? What are your present patterns? Okay, cutting people off and bringing the same archetype into the new year doesn't really do anything. Okay, it just means that you got rid of that person and you replace it with the same thing that you're used to, right? Comfortable in dysfunction. But I digress. But at the end of the day, like, if you find yourself being pressured around this time of year, I want you to just try this instead. How about you make sense? Okay, make sense to yourself, make sense to your goals. Just make sense of who you are. See, a lot of times when we plan these goals and these New Year's resolutions, we are planning with somebody else in mind, not us. Okay, I was a personal trainer for about 10 years, and one of the things I've noticed in the fitness community, and I see this still, I always say, I will not be able to find room in the gym for the first 2 weeks of January. Once the 2 weeks die, there's more space, right? Because what happens is most people start out January 1st on their goal, their fitness goal especially. January 1st is my first day. I'm gonna hit the ground running. I'm gonna run a marathon. I'm gonna lift all these weights. I'm gonna go to the gym 4 a.m. every single day. I'm gonna drink water and I'm gonna eat water, and that's it. And they crash out by week 2. Okay, actually, probably by day 7. And why is that? Because they are not trying to be more of themselves. They're trying to be a different person completely. Okay, that's why our goals a lot of times don't work out, because we are not. The goal is for us to not love ourselves. Is kind of to be loved by other people. If you really think about it, right? Your goals, if you look at them, are they to be more of who you are, or to be someone else that other people are going to praise? And why do you wait till January 1st to start those goals? Okay. It's the first day of a new year, absolutely, but how long have you been yourself? And if you're finding that every year there needs to be this interesting restart, then that's probably information that, hey, this modality doesn't work. Maybe my goals are not realistic. Maybe my goals aren't even tangible, right? And self-fulfilling prophecy and self-sabotage is a very interesting thing because it's subtle. We don't always realize that we're setting ourselves up for failure by waiting to the first day of the year. Okay, by having this lavish goal of being fit by the end of January, versus like understanding all the other variables that are in our lives. Like, what's my stress like? What are my finances looking like? Okay, what are my sleeping habits? Like the small things. How are my eating habits? What are my communication habits like? Okay, how determined am I to have better relationships in my life? Okay, not just a desire for another or a healthy partner, but like, how invested am I in having genuine, healthy relationships that I am also responsible for, not just a recipient of? Okay, tangible things. And it's like, all right, cool, how do I get there? A lot of times your goals are too big, and a lot of times your goals aren't even yours. There's something else that you saw on TV, like it's a marketing thing where everybody's telling you, hey, look, if you want to be successful, you got to do this before the clock strikes 12, right? Or the full moon is happening, so you got to write out these affirmations, which is cool, like no shade, but it's like, what is humanly realistic for me as a person in terms of how I show up in life? Especially if you're an adult and your brain, your prefrontal cortex is already developed. In most cases, you have history or evidence of who you are and who you have been for a very long time. Are you going to change that overnight? Absolutely not. But you can create different avenues in terms of how you approach things. And starting small matters so much more because that's more sustainable. Okay, for example, this is week 2 already of me doing a video a day, right? This is the most consistent I've been in terms of posting. This is a big deal. And it was like, well, Isaiah, how do you get here? Because I've been trying all year. What changed? Just my commitment to small things, my commitment to just doing the one thing. Hey, just be consistent, right? And the only way I can be consistent, hey, bro, plan. All right? Plan it out. Give yourself an opportunity to be successful. How often do you give yourself the opportunity to be successful when it comes to your goals? Okay? If you say you want to be a millionaire by a certain age and your birthday is tomorrow, it's like, is that fair to you? No. Right? Sometimes you got to realize, am I planning for the person that I'll be tomorrow? Or am I already punishing them by demanding that they be everything I expect them to be without any support? They need to just get it. That's you. That's the you now, and that's the you in the future. And both of them are like, wait, what the heck? We don't have anything to do this job, right? It was like, say if your boss said, hey, I need you to build this computer. It was like, wait, dude, I'm an accountant. The hell you mean I got to build this computer? I don't know how to do that. You didn't even give me a manual. You just gave me pieces and you said, build this. That's what we do to ourselves sometimes, right? If you want to become more of yourself, you really have to become more comfortable with understanding who you are and how you function. And your goals don't necessarily have to be a secret, but they have to be a very clear and sincere conversation with yourself. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I actually want to accomplish. This is what I'm afraid of. Okay? And you break down all the little fears that you have. And you see, are they even realistic? Or is this just a script that I run? Okay, a lot of times the momentum and the pressure is coming from this idea of who do I have to be because everybody else is doing it, okay? Versus who do I want to be because no one else can do that for me. You'll know when you're actually living a successful life when it's like, it just seems like I'm chilling, I'm on mine. And everything shows up the way it needs to, but it's like, I don't necessarily feel this pressure. And yeah, sometimes we are harder on ourselves where it's like, I want to have these goals. I want to get this thing done. I want to do this, blah, 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 blah. But even if you take a step back, you're like, all right, cool. How realistic is this? You know? I said for me, it's like I wanted to write another book by my birthday of this year. I did that, you know? That was cool. And I stuck to it. I said, you know what? I'll write however many pages a day. Bet. And even on the days that I didn't necessarily show up, I was like, all right, cool. What's going on right now? Right? Leave room for yourself to be human. It's a beautiful thing. But I still got it done by my birthday. The reason why is because I left room for who I am. So I want you to think about that. If you have these goals or you feel this pressure as you step into the new year, what can you start now to make it very easy that when January 1st comes, it's like, oh, this is just another day. I'm already on my flow. I'm already doing my thing. And see how that feels. Okay? Start something today, literally. I don't care what it is. Start it today. And start small. Because if you want to be successful, you have to give yourself the opportunity to be successful versus setting all these traps for yourself. All right? So, start small. Think big. Go big. But also be intentional and care about yourself along the way. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.